as of today, I think I'm in like 25 markets in two countries. And so right around 1,000 agents with my modern team. So the same thing I'm going to give you guys today is what we are actually in the trenches doing. All right. Going to touch a little bit on fanatical prospecting. I know you guys are big with generating internet leads, right? And this is a contact sport that we're in, regardless of, all the cool tech, drips, automation, and all of that stuff. But your pipeline is your lifeline. And I firmly believe, I'm an internet marketing guy. I built client care resource centers, all these different things. And I believe if you're not building a database and you're not tracking your numbers, then you're never going to have a predictable business, right? So being able to build a database and feeding the top of the funnel is going to be very essential, whether it's, Google, Facebook, Yahoo, Bing, whatever it may be, posting like in classified ads, whatever. You need new, fresh contacts coming in because there's cash conversion cycles with internet leads. When we first started generating internet leads, we went 100 grand in a hole back in 2010. We're paying for auto dialers. We're paying for labor, for ISAs. We're paying, we were generating thousands of leads back in 2010, right? And we've always heard follow-up is king and nurturing and all that stuff, but what does it mean? And there's real psychological steps that the actual consumer goes through. And I'll touch on more of that here in a bit, but it's a dream stage, which they're usually, 9 to 24 months out, depending if they're a buyer lead or a seller lead. Then you have like the information gathering stage, right? Where they're usually anywhere between 6 to 12 months out. All right. And then you have the actively looking stage, which could be 90 days to 6 months. The actively purchasing stage is usually within, 0 to 90 days. All right. Because we have funnels and different things inside of our CRM, right? Like nurture, watch, hot, to do, task, whatever it may be. But there's a psychological process that they go through, and we have to communicate with them the way that they want to be communicated with, right? And we have to communicate differently in that dream stage to them than in the information gathering stage. And so keep that in mind when I talk about funnels. There's a psychological funnel, and then there's the actual CRM funnel, right? And will every lead convert? Without a doubt, no, right? Like most people that I coach or I get into business with, they're converting internet leads at 1%, maybe 2%. Some of the things that I'm going to give you today is allowed for us to convert internet leads from anywhere between 4 to 6% predictably month in and month out without fail, closing 20 to 30 homes a week. And some months up around 8% conversion because of the proper database management. All right. We have 4 objectives that we're really looking to do when we're prospecting, right? I call it quad scripting. We're looking to take a pre-approval attempt. So we have in-house lenders that are tied into our unique value proposition, which is we can let you know your credit score in a matter of minutes. We can let you know your debt to income ratio, because this is more than a website. We're a resource center. We're a client care department. And that's the type of language you need to be using as an agent. Most agents have commission breath. They're looking for their next deal 60 days out, 90 days out. We're punting and playing the long game. They don't want to deal with the salesperson, but they do want to be served. They do want to be helped. So letting them know that you work in the resource center, the client care department. This is more than a website. You're more than a lead, right? You're going to be able to connect with them and get them to drop their guard when I get into the structure of the call. Or we're going to set the buyer appointment. Once we get them pre-approved, our in-house lender is responding in minutes to them because of our brand promise that we're bringing with our client care service. Or we're looking to set up a listing appointment or customize the home hunter alerts. And I know we all use different CRMs. I'm not here to get into that. Any CRM you use works, right? This is about people positioning ourselves, adding value, and demonstrating leadership within. The home hunter alert is being able to customize their website to fit their specific need, price range, area of town, bedrooms, amenities, whatever it may be. So when new homes hit the market, not just with our listings, every single listing in that MLS will be sent to them in real life time. And I hate for them to be able to miss a deal, right? So the home hunter alerts, when you hear me reference that, that's just basically setting up a custom search with the IDX feed. And for the buyer agents on here, I hate to bust your bubble, but clients, suspects, prospects, whatever you want to call them, they don't shop for agents. They shop for homes, right? And so that should be your number one objective when you get on the phone, is being able to customize the home hunter alert, pivot to value. Everybody's going to tell you right when they register, I'm not in the market to buy a home. I'm just looking. I'm a year out. The website made me register, whatever it may be, right? And for the most part, it will take the wind out of your sails. They're trying to give you the Heisman, right? But we tie an anchor around that. Fantastic, outstanding. And then we echo back to them exactly what they tell us. Most people that create an account with us are just looking just like yourself. You're in the right place. However, here's what I can do for you today. All right. And I'm going to give you guys our intro, and then I'm going to give you the structure of a call. So let's get into the intro to this. And the reason I'm not going to present slides today, I want you to write some of this stuff out to be able to internalize it, to verbalize it. The intro should just be thanking them for registering on the website. They're getting, well, if you're here in the States, we've been getting tons of political calls and bombarded with robocalls and everything. We still don't know who our president is, right? Like, we're sick of calls right now. And they're getting calls from siding companies, window companies, other telemarketers, whatever it may be. So when they register on the site, hey, this is Adam Bailey. I saw that you had created an account with the Boulevard Group. I just personally wanted to reach out and say thank you. I see here that you had looked at a couple of homes. I did not know if I could answer any questions you may have, or if I could really understand your home buying situation. And then zip it, okay? I really don't care about the homes I looked at. I'm hitting them with the reverse, is what we call it with our coaching company, a pattern interrupt, if you will, with the thank you, because most people aren't just calling them and saying thank you, right? And so we're disarming them. And then I want to get into their situation, because I'm resolving pain points, helping them avoid pain points, or enhancing pleasure points to be able to help them buy or sell. And I want to get to their situation as quick as possible. All right. If situation is a little aggressive for you, or it just doesn't flow with you after you say thank you for registering on the site, most people are just looking just like you. I just wanted to see if I could help you in any way, answer any questions you may have or whatever. All right. The intro word for word is important. All right. I want to get to their home buying situation as quick as possible. What you're going to find out, if you understand anything about disc profiling, I'm a high D. Most high Ds will tell you what's going on right off the bat. So about 25% is just that you make live contact with is going to tell you what's going on, what they're trying to accomplish. They're going to get right to the point, right? The other 70% are going to say, I'm just looking, whatever, right? So we have to pivot to value and lead with the law of reciprocity. Do things for them without asking for anything in return to be able to build a relationship. I used to pay this guy $4,000 a month when we started building the call center back in. We'd already been up and running, but we were really trying to dial in our conversion numbers. There's a structure of a call from a gentleman I learned from Bob Corcoran. It's called LP Mama. All right. So we have the intro, and the structure of the call is the acronyms for LP Mama are location, price, their motivation, if they're going to be paying cash or need to get a mortgage, if they're working with another agent. And then this is when quad scripting comes in. The A is for appointment, right? And I'm going to give you guys a closing formula off of their natural words and their language to get them to take action towards your offer. If they like you, trust you, and believe in you, they're going to take action because it is what they're trying to accomplish in their natural language, all right? Location, price, motivation, working with it, going to need to be paying cash or getting a mortgage, working with an agent or an appointment. All right. Or customizing the home hunter alerts. All right. I
got one question, if you don't mind, on the custom alerts. So one of the different stages that you have: dream, info gathering, actively looking, and purchasing. Do you set them up at a different frequency? So if somebody's dreaming, we don't want to send them alerts too much. We want to send them alerts once a month. Do you do that at all, or no?
So I don't dictate that. The client does. So part of it, I don't have it built into this. I'm giving you guys a basic structure. Yep. But when on my screen, and it sounds like on your screen too, you can govern that. So yeah. I asked him, hey, I don't want to inundate you with information. I don't want to spam you, but these homes are very relevant to the search that we had just set up. How often would you like to see these? Daily, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly?
Right.
And you can always email us back. We can change them, or you can go in there and change them for yourself as well. A lot of people in the dream stage just said weekly or monthly or whatever.
Right.
And as we're following up with them or whatever, as we're coaching them how to use our client care tools, they'll go in there and make modifications. They'll even set up additional searches. They'll have mini searches. Some will become a
Yeah.
daily, some will become a monthly. All right.
I'm just thinking out loud from a perspective of we're doing some AI right now to understand the data flow of our clients and the data flow as they progress through different stages. So we're seeing people who are not oftenly looking there in the dream stage, but they progressively change the activity status. So they start looking more and more. We're seeing more and more activity, which
Right.
means that we could automatically shift them to a different stage and start notifying the agent that this person
Right.
who used to be active maybe twice a month is now active 15 times a month.
Yeah, so I'm not going to get into much the follow up today. I'm giving you guys a structure of a call to take somebody cold to figure out, where we need to put them in that stage. But I like what you had mentioned because it's very critical to the social selling stage or environment that we're in, with optimized follow up, right? So most people, if they don't have good notes, they're not building good relationships, they're not gathering good information, which means collecting any data that helps you identify their goals, points, pleasure points, timeframes, all of these different things. Then just a random follow-up is just a follow-up. But off of their behavior of what you're saying, whether they're printing flyers, doing loan calculations, visiting the website multiple times, looking at a property multiple times, emailing somebody the property, then you actually have a very optimized follow-up, and it's very specific to their needs instead of a canned follow-up, right?
Right.
So, tracking those behavior points are very essential with the follow-up game for how we've been able to position value. So I love that, right? And any data that gives us an edge, is good to help with a power solution or our offer later down the road with our unique value propositions. This morning, I just posted an hour and a half training that I did a couple of years ago, and it was on my hard drive. And I was like, wow, this is good. I uploaded it to YouTube, and then I put it in our private group for our agents. But you got to have good, unique value propositions. Our Home Buyer Advantage program stacked with 10 benefits in it, some tangible, some perceived. The love it or leave it guarantee, the worry-free listing program. You got to have different programs to offer to package it with their solution as well for the best results for this. All right. Being able to build familiarity is going to be huge, right? Being able to create that mind share with them, and it's geared towards increasing the likelihood that your potential prospect will engage with your brand and engage with you. All right. And so being able to retarget them, being able to drip on them with emails and texts with these value propositions, right, is going to be very essential, or following up with them through the different avenues of communication through these behaviors are important as well. We need to be connecting with our database on social media as well. All right. And so whether you're going to connect with them on LinkedIn, whether you're going to, connect with them on your business page, personal page, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it may be,
Yep.
You need to be building your audience so you can continuously tell your story around your brand, around your clients, right? Around that, because people are connected not to features and benefits, but they're connected to storytelling, right? And so being able to connect with these people and track them in your CRM, build those relationships is going to be very huge. So we're cool with the actual dream stage that they're going through. This is why, in my CRM that I use, I call it watch, right? And that's what it is. And nurture is the information gathering stage. And just looking, I could end up moving them in hot, actively looking. Obviously, we're out looking at houses or going to open houses or driving by properties, all of that stuff. And just to kind of give you an example of like what they're looking for in each stage before I move on, I know we have a lot to cover here. The dream stage, you guys understand the time frame of it, but the dream stages, they're just fantasizing about what they could afford, fantasizing about this new house, or what school district to live in, or amenities that they might want. It's all a fantasy, right? And it's up to us to help get them pointed in the right direction. Whether, hey, we can let you know your credit score in a matter of minutes. Oh, no obligation. Your debt to, hey, by chance, your debt to income ratio? No, I don't even know what that is. Oh my gosh, that's going to affect your affordability. I can take a little bit of information and let you know that percentage in a matter of minutes. So we can help start to bring that fantasy into reality to get them into the information gathering stage. The information gathering stage is maybe they're gathering info about a school district. Maybe they're gathering information about a homeowners association, the do's and don'ts, right? Maybe they're looking up the crime rate, if there's any sexual predators in that area, right? Or whatever. They're just gathering as much information as they can, right? And the just looking stage is, okay, now I have enough information. I have a neighborhood, I have an area, I have a school district, maybe I have a price range, right? I have it targeted, right? So they're going to start searching for homes and just looking within these parameters, right? And then they're going to move to a stage that's going to trigger them to actually reach out to agents, set up showings, maybe start interviewing agents. They're going to maybe start to go to these open houses I talked about, drive by the properties and look at the exterior of the houses, right? And so that's really the bottom of the funnel, and that's really where we want to be working in, is the bottom of the funnel. But I don't think you're necessarily going to get to the bottom of the funnel with internet leads. If you're not really feeding the top of the funnel and communicating with them and building trust with your brand in the dream stage, all right? And then the final step is getting them into escrow, right? It's the most enjoyable part of prospecting and doing business, is when, you know, we can hear what? Clear to close, right? I like it. So to be able to build this top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, the psychological steps I gave you, obviously you understand, you know, how you're tagging these people in your CRM. You're going to need to be prospecting for 2 to 3 hours a day to be able to get these type of results. That's it, right? I know we had a call center, but I have a lot of agents that I'm partnered with, or they're in our network or whatever, and they don't have call centers. They don't have traditional teams. They don't have modern teams. And so being able to leverage the telephone is their most valuable tool, 2 to 3 hours a day. If you're generating internet leads, you're never going to have a big business if you're not picking up the phone and sifting and sorting through a lot of data. All right. And I will just be honest with you. I don't know if you can generate internet leads and hand dial and have a successful business. And I think that contact rates with phones are going down. We definitely have a hell of a lot more competition with CRMs than we just had 5, 6, 7 years ago. So it dilutes the quality of the lead, because the lead isn't just registering on your site. They're thinking that you have specific inventory. Lauren has another set of specific inventory. I don't know the lady's name up in the left-hand corner. It says Agent Locator.
Crystal.
Rachel, thank you. They think that Rachel has a whole nother set of inventory. And so the lead is just getting thinned out, right? And so what is important is response times with hand follow-ups, okay? So when leads are coming in, you need to be responding to these leads within 5 minutes. And it sounds so simple. It does. I had an agent that hated response times. He was an old sales guy. You couldn't tell him nothing. He couldn't learn no new tricks, anything. And he was struggling. He was in slumps, right? And I said, look, man, you know what you're doing. You're a professional. You're a veteran. If you just respond to these leads within 5 minutes, I promise you, your conversion rate is going to double. So he was trying to prove a point wrong to me. And so he started responding to these leads within 5 minutes. He became the top agent in our brokerage and one agent of the month. I think closed like 10 or 12 houses that month. Okay. The next month, he ended up becoming the agent of the month again. And you know what he did? He quit doing the behaviors that got him there in the first place. Then he went on a massive skid, all because of one little linchpin in his internet prospecting business, which was responding to leads within 5 to 7 minutes. Because those classifications of the psychological steps that I gave you, I also call them A, B, and C leads. And the A leads are actively looking. They want answers right now. They want to speak with an agent. They have a problem, and we want to capture as many of those as possible, right? And if you're not responding to them, I just told you they're going and registering on Lauren's website. By the time you call them a day later, the next morning, or whenever you're done doing your $12 to $15 an hour work paperwork, and you're like, oh, I got a prospect. They've already been out looking with Lauren in his car, maybe signed agency agreement, a listing agent. Boom, we're off to the races. All right. And so that response time is huge, and you need to be able to do that by hand. All right. Because by the time you get them into your list in your dialer and segmented, or however you manage it in the dialer, it's going to be too late. And another technique to be able to boost your contact ratio, double tap them is what I call it. Double dial them. So I know I'm on a Zoom right now or whatever. Yeah, we're on Zoom. if I get a call, we'll just say from whomever, my mom, my girlfriend, whoever it may be, right? Actually, Katie, my girlfriend, knows that I'm going live right now. But if she called me, I'd be like, that's kind of weird, right? But if she turned around and called me again, what is that going to create psychologically with me? A sense of urgency. I'm going to think it's important. Something's wrong, right? Like I'm going to have all these thoughts. And so being able to double tap your new leads within 5 minutes that come in, you're going to have a boost of 25% more contact rate on that second dial than that first dial, because you've created a sense of urgency with them. And I religiously coach on at least the response times and double tapping if you're not going to use the auto dialer. All right. Even if you are using auto dialer. The second thing is the auto dialer. It's the most powerful tool really in my toolbox, and it has been to be able to build our call center regardless of this, the silver, marketing secrets and this, golden silver bullet that age that we're in. If you try to eliminate prospecting altogether, you're going to eliminate your business. We have to influence another person. We have to ask good questions to be able to extract good information, to gather that information. Like location, is Toronto the only area you're looking in? So when I talk about location, Lauren, if you could do this, give these guys this. There's a whole script book with some of the structure in there. I don't have my intro and I don't have my closing formula. That's my stuff. The structure of call, it's called Bob Corcoran's prospecting script. And location, price, all those things. It has 5, 6, 7 questions that you can mix and match. And maybe you can send that booklet over to them. They can upload it in their group or whatever. And I used to pay $4,000 a month to coach with this guy back in the days. All right. So you guys can get that out there, and it'll be a good reference point for you. All right. So I know there's a lot of debate around, can we call cell phones or whatever? They registered on my website. I'm not using the auto dialer to cold call. I'm thanking them for creating an account on the website. So I'm calling everybody. I'm calling them. I'm not checking to see if they're on the no call list or whatever. Like they've came through my website. They've raised their hand that they want some service. All right. So being able to use a triple line dialer, what that means is in our call center, we were probably, I don't know, dialing anywhere between, $10,000 to $15,000 dials every single month. All right. All because of our triple line dialer. What that means is it's going to call 3 lines at once for one ISA or one agent, and it's only going to actually ring, or the only time you're going to hear anything is when you make a live connection with a suspect, a prospect, or whatever. All right. So I hear this all the time, even with the auto dialer. They're like, well, it just forces me into conversations and I can't look at the profile and I can't read the notes fast enough, or I'm just better, face to face or whatever. And so you have to be able to operate within speed. And speed is going to be important when you're sifting and sorting through a lot of data, because you're trying to find people that are in the dream and information gathering states to build the home hunter alerts. And then you're looking for the actively looking and actively purchasing people to be able to get in front of, right? And if you and I are dialing and you're hand dialing, you might be able to get through 25 to 30 leads an hour, right? Depending on your contact ratio and talk time. I'm going to be able to get through a couple hundred, depending on my contact ratio, right? And so who are you going to bet on to have more conversations, set up more accounts, build more relationships, and scale a valid conversation to an appointment? And that is the holy grail of what I'm looking for in terms of the front end prospecting. Call volume connects with valid conversations, and valid conversations doesn't mean, oh, the conversation went well, I talked for a long time, whatever. A valid conversation means that the lead was good, because this is how you're going to track your marketing. And what I mean by that, the quality of your marketing. And a valid conversation, whether they hung up on you, let you get through your intro or whatever, if you can match that phone number with that decision maker's name. If I call this lead and it's Lauren and Lauren answers, I'm like, Lauren. He's like, yeah. I'm like, hey, this is Adam. And he hangs up on me. That's a valid conversation, because I'm calling it a valid, a good piece of marketing, right? And so being able to track call volume to valid conversation to qualified pre-approval attempt, buyer appointment, or a listing appointment is what you need to be tracking with with basics, because you want to be able to scale a valid conversation to appointment rate. So every single person I've coached at a high level with this, and we've spent time going into this, over 3 months, 6-month process. The valid conversation to appointment ratio needs to be in between 8 to 12 valid conversations to qualified appointment. And if you follow this process, you're going to have an 80% or 76. Our call center ran about 70% show up good quality ratio, because we were working with getting them pre-approved. We have listing questionnaires, we have buyer questionnaires, we have all this stuff, right, to protect our quality. And so if somebody's got pre-approved with you, or if they've answered a bunch of questions or start a process, they're going to show up. And so, being able to track that valid conversation to appointment ratio is huge to get that to drop down. Most of my people on my team, or that I've been able to coach, normally when they come in my eco space, they're 30 to 50 to 1 when we start tracking this. Okay. And then you want to start chunking it, getting better at intro, getting better at structure of calls, and then getting better at the optimized closing formula. That's going to be the last piece that I'm going to give you guys the second part of this call. Okay. And then you want to try to go from 30 down to 25. Most people get about stuck anywhere between 20 to 25 valid conversations to 1 appointment. And you'll be stuck there for a little bit. All right. And through good active listening and mastering the closing formula, you'll really, get that to drop below 15 valid conversations to 1 appointment. I have never been able to get much better than that. And I've spoke at tons of conventions, trained for years with ISA stuff, ran tons of podcasts, and that valid conversation and conversion number is one of the better ones, in the nation. And so hopefully you guys will actually put this to work. I'm still actively practicing this stuff, whether I was selling insurance, whether I'm selling real estate, whether I'm building my team, whatever it may be, this formula is very critical. All right. So the next part is, okay, when's the best time to prospect, right? I like to do call nights. I like to have what I call jam sessions, because if you don't sit down and have a radical focus, you're never going to get the marbles out of your mouth. You're never going to get into a flow state. You're never going to get into a zone. And so I'm telling you to respond to leads within 5 minutes, whether you're, at an inspection or whatever. Like, we have to respond to our leads within 5 minutes. All right. Now, if that's all you're doing, and you're never having jam sessions or call nights, or call sessions during the day, you're never really going to get into a flow state. And what I mean by that is every Thursday night we run call nights. All right, and we have for almost 8 years. There's a study out there by MIT. The best time to contact anyone over the phone is from 4 to like 7:30 to 8:30 on Thursday nights. All right. So I built to play into the math. I built call night around that, where we come in and we listen to each other prospect or whatever. We just see how many appointments we can generate. The other night, the second best time to contact people is Monday nights. All right. So I would be prospecting at least once a week at night, because you're missing people at work, third shifts, second shifts, night people, whatever, if you're not calling at night. And so 1 day a week is the least mandatory. 2 days a week is exactly how I ran my business and my brokerage and my teams. All right. So those are going to be your highest and best use to be able to contact people. Now, if you're going to prospect during the day, here's where most agents fail: is they come dragging their ass into the office at 8, 9, get coffee, water cooler talk, refresh their email, scan their CRMs, open their mail, do whatever, anything that's not dollar producing activities, right? And they start prospecting at 10:30, 11 o'clock, then they'll go to lunch and they might prospect again for a few hours in the afternoon. Those are the worst times to prospect in terms of MIT study to make contact with somebody over a telephone. Your best time to contact somebody every single day, if we're just going to look at every day, is from 7:30 to about 10:30 in the morning. So if you're a morning person, I would be in there and be intentional with my headset on, my auto dialers fired up, my database is ready to go. I know who I'm calling, my lists are created, and I would be intentional hitting the ground from 7:30 to 8, whatever, till 10:30. Okay. And then if you're going to prospect in the afternoon, I wouldn't come back from lunch at 1 or 2 and try to get some calls in unless they're follow-up calls with people you'd already built relationships with. Your best time to contact people are going to start about 3:30 till about 7 o'clock at night. So those are the times that I'm going to spend the highest and best use of my time when it comes to prospecting, is during those blocks right there. The other blocks is when I'm going to focus on my paperwork if I don't have any administrative, help, or I have to focus on lower income producing activities, which is anything that's not, influencing people or working on a sell. If it doesn't have anything to do with prospect, sell, or negotiate, I'm going to do it during those times. All right. Another thing that has helped us really well, we were big with radio ads. We've spent millions on radio ads. So we're good at creating and crafting canned audio. And so what we did with our call center, and we worked with on our agents, is pre-recorded voicemails, because a lot of people will leave voicemails, but they're random, right? And they're not intentional, or that voicemail is going to translate for the energy that you're bringing that day, or if it's at the end of the day. And for us, we sat down and we actually wrote a very crafty voicemail, and we uploaded it for our ISAs. And then when they got to the voicemail part, they would just drop the voicemail from the auto dialer. And then it's very simple. We're identifying ourselves, just our first name, not even mentioning the company. We're just letting them know that we have a few questions for them, and then we're giving them a reason to be able to give us a call back. All right. And so we're not identifying ourselves as an agent at that point in time. We're not identifying ourselves as a salesperson. And it sounds very, very friendly, and we create a sense of urgency with it, and the fear of missing out this information if they don't give us a call back, right? And so we get tons of callbacks off of our voicemails. And so being able to pre-record and drop voicemails will be very helpful for you, because I look at voicemail dropping as like digital farming, really. Especially even if you want to identify yourself or tie a value to it. If you want to be branded or unbranded, that's up to you. There's a reason we're unbranded. We split test a lot of this. And I just wanted to give my call center more at bats. I mean, if you're more branded and specific and short, then maybe the quality of the callback is going to be better, but you'll get less callbacks, if that makes sense. All right. Vulnerability and objections is part of this game. Being able to get no's is part of the game. So when I'm prospecting, people tell me I'm just looking on the market to buy a home, or no, or whatever. I'm just sifting and sorting. I'm not taking it personal. I'm hitting everybody with the same intro, same structure of call that I'm using. And in this closing formula, I know every 8.5 valid conversations, I'm setting a qualified appointment. So if you understand your math and you make it logical, it's not emotional. I might get up around 30 valid conversations and not have an appointment yet, but I might have the next 3 or 4 conversations and get 2 appointments, right? It's just the law of averages and the math. And so if you don't take this personal and you embrace rejection, and because they're not rejecting you personally, they're rejecting your message, your intro, they're rejecting the time frame of it, right? Your pitch, your tonality, your speed, and all that stuff. Because when you're looking at the structure of a call that I'm giving you, that's the mechanics. Intro, location, blah, blah, blah. All that's mechanics. That's 20%. What I'm giving you is solid, but that's 20%. The other 80% comes from the psychological process. Being able to get their attention, hold their interest, invoke desire, and get them to take action off of your offer. That makes up 80% of how you're going to move these people and influence them. I could be giving you the same information, and if I got on here and I was monotone and just kind of went through this process, is it going to impact you the same way? No, right? So being able to have good tonality, good speed, good pitch with some of these other components that I just outlined are going to be very vital to this working for you. So just keep that in mind as well. All right. Let's see what else we have here. I have jotted down some notes here. The anchoring is going to be very important. I'm going to get into optimizing their keywords, and I'm going to give you guys a closing formula and take some questions here. All right. The anchor is going to be very, very important for your intro to getting them to open up to LP Mama. All right. So that anchor is basically just looking, not in the market to buy a home. I'm 12 months out, yada, 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 right? Whatever they tell you, it's important for you to tie an anchor around that and be excited. So many people are like, oh, you're just looking. Oh, the website, yeah, it makes you register. I hate it. The owner has it set up for forced registry, whatever. You know what I mean? And so whenever anybody tells me I'm just looking, I'm like, fantastic, outstanding, great. Most people are just looking just like yourself, right? And that's that anchor, tying that around, whatever word they tell you is going to be very important for them dropping their guard to getting into LP Mama. I work here. However, here's what I can do for you today. I can customize this website to meet your specific need, price range, area of town, bedrooms, whatever it may be. I just told you I'm not looking, right? And then they're gonna be like, is this gonna cost me any money or whatever? People are gonna open up once you start to actually help them. Great. What are you looking for in a home? 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. How'd you come up with that? Are you looking in the maze area? Is that the only area you're looking at? All right. Price range. Pretty simple. How'd you come up with that? Now I'm going to give you, before we move to the closing formula, I'm going to give you motivation. This is going to be one of the most important parts of the middle of the structure of the call. How do you figure out how motivated somebody is? An LP Mama, you can put in a blender and mix it up. You don't need to go location, price. Just off the flow of the conversation, you might ask different questions in different order. But I would go through it as a checklist until you get comfortable using it, and Lauren will get you that stuff. But I need to figure out 3 things. Their situation, all right, what they're trying to accomplish, and in what time frame. And if I can figure out those 3 data points, I can have them eating out of my hands, and I know that I'm a professional and I'm going to be able to take care of them. But the way that you figure out time frame is through this magic wand right here. And as cheesy as it sounds, when's the last person told you I wanted to buy yesterday? I wanted to buy 2 weeks ago. You probably don't hear that. I hear that. We hear that. And the reason they haven't been able to buy as soon as they wanted to, because they have a problem. Now we can get to the real business. I'm a professional problem solver. I want to help them avoid pain, remove pain, dissolve pain. 70% of people will take action to avoid pain or resolve it. And the other 30% take action to enhance pleasure. Most people are selling pleasure. So you're only working with 30% of the people. There's a whole nother world out there if you become a professional problem solver and you become a trusted advisor as a real estate agent and not just a salesperson. All right. So when I hit people with a magic wand, hey, or I'm trying to figure out motivation. Hey, if you had a magic wand, how soon would you like to be into your next home? They're going to tell you 6 months, 12 months, 3 months, yesterday. And then this question has to come next. Great. What needs to happen within that time frame? Those 2 things right there, which with your response rate is going to change the game for you. And make it fun. They're gonna laugh. They're gonna be like, "What did you say?" Or if you know that they need to sell and they're telling you, "Oh, I got a bunch of repairs. I got to do this. I got to wait for this and that." If you had a magic wand, how soon would you like to be able to sell that home? This magic wand I keep on every single ISA, inside sales agent's desk, and all my prospecting agents' desks. This thing will change your life. I got it from Sean Kokoska in like 2011, and I thought it was cheesy, because I'm a high D, I'm pretty serious, right? And then when I started working in Magic Wand, I'm like, holy crap, these people are giving me time frames. And then I'm like, well, what needs to happen? And they're telling me exactly what needs to happen every single time. So to be able to spot check motivation, use the magic wand, buy you a magic wand, get it up there. If you had a magic wand, how soon would you like to be able to move? And they're going to tell me because I'm already in rapport with them. I've already went through and helped them set up their client care resource center account. I haven't even really, some people will be like, are you even a licensed agent? Do you even live in the Toronto area or Wichita area? Absolutely. I'm off Rock Road. Yeah, I'm a licensed agent, but I'm not leading with I'm an agent, blah, 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 right? I want to create so much value and differentiate from the average frustrated agents where they're like, man, I like this guy. And I told him I'm not looking, not interested. And he pivoted to what? Value, because I'm going to lead with the law of reciprocity. I'm going to do things for them and not expect anything in return because I understand they're in the dream stage. Most people that come in, right? And so once you figure out time frame and motivation, Then you can figure out where they're at. Are they in the dream stage? That's what's going to help you. Are they in the information gathering stage? Are they in the actively looking stage? And if they tell me that they have an agent, I just don't stop there. I'm like, great. Are you a first time home buyer? And if they are, did they sit down with you and explain the whole process to you? Right? Did you actually hire that person? And what you're going to find is most agents are lazy. They don't get agency sign. So just because you're working with somebody, if they have a sign, I'm highly competitive. I'm going to differentiate. I'm going to add value. I'm going to talk about our love and leave it guarantee. I'm going to talk about our home buyer advantage program and add value tied into the optimized closing formula that I'm going to give you. And I'm still going to get in front of people. So with the agent part, you want to ask if they're working with an agent, but you want to work if they've hired an agent. All right. All right, guys, I'm gonna give you this closing formula. There's so much stuff to this stuff. It's good. So once we understand, we hit them with the intro, structure of a call. We went through and, we're helping them out. And then they start to trust us. So their guard drops. And when their guard drops, they actually will start, you'll find out that they're further along in the cash conversion cycle is what I call it on the marketing side of my business. A lot faster than what they told you, because you just tell a perfectly fine stranger all of your problems and pain points in your life and what you're struggling with. No, you're going to be guarded with information. You're going to be private until you trust that person. And then by the time we hit them with a magic wand, we trust them, we extract that information. All right. We're moving fast through a lot of this stuff. I want you guys to write this down and I'm going to explain it to you. One of the things I specialize in is, and then draw a big line because you're going to fill something in here. This is where we use our natural language. Anyways, if I could show you how to draw another long line, would that be worth a few minutes of your time to see how this could work for you and your family? One of the things I specialize in is blah, 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 blah. If I can honestly show you how to blah, 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 is that going to be worth a few minutes every time for your family? All right. Now that's a formula. And now let me explain what needs to go on the top line and what needs to go on the bottom line for this to work. And some of you guys might not know what optimize means. Let me kind of step back and reframe that word a little bit. When you go to Google, Google is optimized across their search engine. So when you go to Google and you type in, I want a specific make and model red guitar with these type of strings in Google, what do you hope Google pulls up?
The result that we want.
The make and model that you're looking for, Lauren, right? Or whatever. And
what do you mean me?
Well, because I see the guitars.
I know.
But if a drum set comes up and that's the first image you see, and that's the first thing Google starts talking about, what are you going to do?
Go to Bing.
Click on another link, go off the back page, whatever. But if it's speaking your language and your keywords, you're going to go deeper down the rabbit hole of that website and spend time on it. And you're going to start to, build that brand is going to start to earn some trust with you, right? Because they're giving you what you want. This is no different. And so I want you guys to use this ethically, because you could end up using it wrong, because I specialize in whatever they're trying to achieve. But you got to make sure you actually specialize in it. Like we're pro across all boards. So, for an example, that first line, one of the things I specialize in is what they're trying to accomplish time frame wise. What pain that they have currently going on in their life, what pain they're trying to avoid by downsizing, upsizing, whatever it may be. Or maybe it's a pleasure point. And what I mean by that is they're just got married. They're having a baby. They're wanting to sell 2 houses and move in together. There's not a lot of pain there, right? That's pleasure point, right? One of the things I specialize in is working with first-time homeowners just like yourself, Lauren, that's relocating into this specific neighborhood in the Toronto area. Anyways, if I could show you how to make sure the contract's weighted in your favor, attempt to get your closing costs paid for, attempt to get you a home warranty, and package that with our love it or leave it guarantee. If you purchase a house through us and absolutely don't love it, we'll turn around and sell it for free within the first 6 months. Would that be worth a few minutes of your time to see how this could work for you and your family?
Hell yes.
Granted, the fine print, we're still going to charge them on the selling side or the buyer side because we have to pay the buyer agent, but you might honor 2%. I'm in a military town, so we honor about 3% a year. And we charge a transaction fee for that. So we turn it into a profit pillar for us. And oh, by the way, the Home Buyer Advantage program, that's just one benefit in there. I got to go. I don't have that much time. But if you like that one, there's 9 other benefits that I'm going to go over with you. I don't know if I can help you yet or not, but I do think off the information that you've given me, I do think that you're an ideal client that I represent and feel like I can help you. But I can go over the more in-depth the Home Buyer Advantage program later. When's a good time for us to get together? All right. One of the things I specialize in is selling homes in this very niche neighborhood that you live in. I'm actually optimizing where they live. Anyways, if I could show you how to get the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time for your house so you can move on with your life or relocate out of where or upgrade or downgrade, I'm optimizing their key language back to them. I'm using canned ones because I haven't role played with anybody. Would this be worth a few minutes every time? See how this could work for you and Jan, right? One of the things that I specialize in is helping agents explode and expand their business. Anyways, if I could show you how to close 20 to 30 homes week in, week out without fail like we do, would that be worth a few minutes every time? Do you see how I'm using the formula for everything? Now, that second line, if you guys didn't catch on to it, this is where we got to get tricky. And this is where creativity comes into play. Because the first part of the line is easy. They've already told us what they're trying to accomplish, their time frame, whatever, right? That's their language. The second part that you're filling in, what are they going to net if they take action towards your offer? And they should take action towards your offer because you're using their natural keywords back to them in a packaged offer. So many agents take notes. Every single one of you guys prospect on here, you guys take notes on a pad like this, or if you're really good, you're typing in your CRM when you're on the phone, or you write your notes down, then you upload it in your CRM. Most people don't know what to do with the notes they take. They take the notes and they're like, okay, well, I'll talk to you later. Let me know if you see a home, or let me know. They don't close. Closing is like a sleazeball looked at thing in our society right now, but most people don't know how to close, or the only thing they've been given is word for word closing canned paragraphs from coaching companies in our industry that stuck. It's okay to close. It's okay to make an offer to them. They're telling you what is going on with them, and this paragraph right here will get them to take action, and it's off of their natural language. One of the things I specialize in is whatever keyword they've given me. I'm using their natural language. I'm actually using their language back against them to influence them to take action towards my offer, which is helping them achieve whatever they're trying to achieve or resolve it. But also I'm packaging it with real value with our love it or leave it guarantee. We have moving trucks for free. We have a raving fans program. We have all these different things that I could talk about why I integrate it into their keywords. So yes, I'm very good with the psychological part, how to position myself and get in alignment to serve them, help them. But also I have differentiating, unique selling or value propositions that the other agents just don't have. Okay. One of the things that I specialize is working with long-haired guitar people just like yourself, Lauren. Anyways, if I could show you how to become a rock star agent and net more money, would that be worth a few minutes every time? So you guys are getting how you have to optimize it, right? Like on the buying side and selling side, you can get very, like if we were role playing, this is very simple. And like I just mentioned military town, so it's on my mind. One of the things that we specialize is working with veterans that relocated into the military or into the Wichita area, just like yourself. Anyways, if we could show you how to order your VA certificate, purchase hassle-free with our VA specialized lenders that work specifically with our client care department, would that be worth a few minutes every time to see what the VA process would look like with our team? You see what I'm saying? Or I'm hyper optimizing it, making it very specific to them, their goals, what they're trying to achieve, time frames, all that stuff. But then I'm articulating what their world will look like. And that last paragraph will be important because I can't say just echo back a word to them or whatever, right? If I could show you how to articulate a very visual vibrant net result that they're going to get their hands on, they're going to experience if they take action towards you. And that is it. What questions we got?
Great stuff. There's a question actually about a seller and seller leads. If they start bothering you about commission over the phone before booking the appointment, how do you approach that?
Yeah, I'm not. The only thing you need to focus on right there is so there's part of the packet that you guys are gonna get. There's a technique called answer and ask, acknowledge and ask. Answer and ask, acknowledge and ask. Most salespeople try to they try to handle objections over the phone. I'm not going to do that. No objections. So one of the other things that we have, value unarticulated is always going to be value unappreciated, but cost will never ever be the issue in the presence of value, ever. And so to get them to take action to deal with that through value and face-to-face is what we had was a flexible commission structure where we flexed up, but I didn't tell them over the phone. And the way our team is structured, we had different price points. Lauren, if you watch that video I posted this morning, I actually do some training on it. But one of the things, so I let them know, yeah, absolutely. We have a flexible structure plan that I'll be able to go over with you in person. I'd love to get more into that, but I just can't. We don't have enough time. Here's what I can tell you is we do have a 1% program. If we come out, list your house, do all the marketing, and then you actually find the buyer, we'll still take care of the contract, represent you, take care of the whole process for only 1%. That's definitely fair enough, right? Great. Is 2 o'clock going to work tomorrow when we get there? So then when I get there, I can position my value, and we charge 6% normally in this market, but we have a platinum package where we charge 7%. And people that actually were talking about discounting or blah, 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 we end up getting the 7%, even against our 6% competition and us. But then we have like a mid-tier, and then we have the 1%, but we never sell the mid-tiers because of the way our team is structured. So then we also let them know if the listing agent sells your house, we'll only charge you 4% instead of 6%. But the listing agents on our team never take buyer sign calls, and their name's not on the sign. So we're running a true team model. So that rarely happens. However, people want choices. It's the reason we have Pepsi and Coke, same damn thing. And those Pepsi people, they're for Pepsi. And those people for Coke, they're for Coke. And then you got the weird Dr. Pepper people that don't drink any of them, right? So people want choices. And so being able to handle it through unique value propositions without getting in the tick for tat and the dollar amount, to get in front of them, to handle it and articulate the value, that's what it's going to be. So you want choices. And so being able to have a structured commission plan, regardless if you sell a lot of your mid-tiered ones, reduced ones, which we don't because we have the built-in protection with our team, but value unarticulated is always going to be value unappreciated. And people don't want to deal with the agent, and people don't want to deal with salespeople. And they're going to be like, well, cut commission companies, the discount brokers, they've been around for years. However, here's what they offer. And then I value stack what we offer. So when I take my girlfriend out to dinner, I'm not looking to take her out to Applebee's if it's her anniversary or something like that. Anybody can go to Applebee's and try to get the cheapest steak on the market. But I'm looking for what? Experience. And that's why I said that articulating what they're going to net, what that experience is going to look like, how it's going to affect them. That's what they're going to take action for. So if that's our, special day or whatever, I'm not looking to take her to Applebee's. I'm not looking for a cheap steak. I'm looking for good service. I'm looking for a good atmosphere. I'm looking for a thicker, healthier, juicier steak. And I'm willing to pay 4 times as much, even though both of them are called a steak. Not all agents are created equal. Not all steaks are created equal. Okay. So I let them know, hey, that's a great question. We have a flexible commission structure. I'd love to be able to go over all that with you. I know we've been on the phone for a few minutes, and thank you. But here's what I can tell you until I can get out and go over the different tiers with you. If we list your house, do all the marketing, you find the buyer, we'll sell it for free, still represent you for 1%. That's definitely fair enough to check out the other tiers, right? Great. I'll be out there too. Can't wait to meet you. Go over it.
Is it 3 options that you have that you give them?
We have the platinum at 7. We have the standard at 6. And then we have, if the agent sells it, it's 4. 4 or 5. I can't remember. Go back and look. And then very seldom do they sell their own damn house. However, once again, what do they want? Choices. And not everybody's looking for the cheapest shit. I mean, you'll be amazed by how many agents that I coach on our platinum program, they don't believe in the value themselves because some of it's tangible, some of it's perceived. But if you don't believe it, how are they going to believe it? And I have other agents that all they sign up is 7% listings. And they competed with 3 or 4 other 6% agents. So it's a mindset thing. You have to put it in a worry-free listing program. You have to lay out the different tiers. They have to visually be able to see it. Let them make a choice. If they want a discount brokerage, discount service, and that's still what they want when you articulate the value, then that's them. But value unarticulated is value unappreciated, and cost will never, ever be the issue in the presence of value, ever. If the value is articulated well, and then the cost won't be an issue. All right. So hopefully that helps. What another question? Good one.
We do have one here in the Q&A. Sammy is asking, how would you overcome the I don't want to meet because of COVID objection on the phone? Are you doing your meetings online in those situations, or how are you handling that?
Yeah, sorry guys. I thought all of this was already known. So, I've been doing this for years. COVID is just allowing other people to catch up with us. And I had to solve this problem. I don't know how long you guys have been in real estate. I've been through a few cycles, whether it's buyer markets or seller markets. When I got into real estate, it was a buyer's market in 2010. We had the subprime crash. Everybody's getting out of real estate. I don't know if it's the dumbest thing I did or the smartest, but I got in real estate and started building. It was great for a while as a buyer's agent. And then about 5-6 years ago, what happened? Market started shifting back. So when I started opening expansion offices and then I started a coaching company, I had a whole nother set of problems on the East and West Coast with my coaching clients that had not come to the Midwest yet. And that was, we were going back to a seller's market. And the commuting time to get agency and the way that I was coaching people to not show houses to people that haven't hired you yet. You're not a professional door opener. You're a professional negotiator. And they're like, well, they're going to another agent or somebody's meeting them at the house, right? So what we had to start doing was a light buyer consultation on Zoom. And so I started coaching our agents probably 4 years ago to start using Zoom and get digital signature signed and go through the Home Buyer Advantage program and all the value stacked in there and actually get them to commit to hire you before you even meet them in person. Because do you guys feel like you got to know me a little bit today? You get to see my mannerisms, you get to see my energy, how I'm articulating things, right? And my pitch and my tone and my speed. So if I asked you to hire me today, you probably be like, kind of knows this stuff, maybe, I don't know, or not, right? But you'll be able to make a decision through Zoom. And before you meet them, hopefully you have an actual client hired. So we've been using Zoom and collecting digital signatures to meet our clients for years now. COVID just expedited this for a lot of us.
Yeah, it's made the client much more open to the idea of meeting over Zoom as well. I've been doing Zoom consultations several times a week, every week. So no problems there.
Yeah, well, to be able to get them on Zoom is what you guys don't understand is most people's at a computer when you're speaking with them, or they're by a phone. So if I'm prospecting and I'm going to set the appointment, or if I've just got them on the phone, I'd be like, hey, if I sent you a link and I screen shared some stuff with you, are you able to do that on your phone? And they'll be like, yeah. And then I'm going to go through the level. I'm just going to touch on some bulletin points with our Home Buyer Advantage program or our worry-free listing to set the hook to get in front of them too. It might not be a full-blown consultation, but it's more like, hey, I want to show you the love it or leave it guarantee. If you end up purchasing a house through us, we'll turn around and sell it for free. If I could show you some cool stuff and it don't cost you a penny right now, would that be worth about, I know, 10 minutes of your time or 5. I know we've been on the phone for about 10 minutes and I appreciate that. Right? Yeah. All right. I'm going to give you guys a double commit because you guys need to get double commits, whether I'm building my team, whether we're selling, buyers and sellers. And so if you have a show up confirm ratio, so your valid conversation to appointment's one thing, but if your no show drops below 50%, you have a problem with actually getting the commitment. And Lauren gets to hear me talk about this all the time on Thursdays, because I use it across anything that we're doing. It's called the double commit. All right. what most people don't do is actually tie them down, and they can't tell if they're for real or not. All right. So I appreciate you, Lauren, being able to meet me, at 2 o'clock on Friday. So thank you for making that commitment. I just got to ask you for a couple of commitments. Obviously, the first one is that few minutes of your time. So thank you for making that commitment. The second one is in real estate, we get stood up a lot. And so do I have your commitment that you're going to hop on this Zoom, or you're going to meet me at this house or whatever at 2 o'clock on Friday?
Yes.
So you need to get them to double commit, and if not, triple commit. I'm pretty serious about what I do. I work with, buyers that are serious at purchasing. I only represent about 25 people at a time. I have a couple of spots available. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fully help you or not, but off the information you told me, I do feel like you'd be a perfect fit, and vice versa. Just got to ask you for a couple small commitments. Obviously, the first one was that few minutes of your time, or 30 minutes, or whatever you asked them for. So thank you for making that. The second commitment is, here in real estate, we get stood up a lot, or if things change, people don't call us back. So, can you give me a call if anything changes? And if I don't hear from you, can I count on you that you're going to be there too? And I come from a very sincere place with delivering those two commitments. And those people will damn sure show up, or they will call you and let you know, because nobody is professionally coming from a trusted advisor role to put them through a core process that you just put them through, and doing the double commit at the end. Nobody is.
Yeah, I love that. That's fantastic.
Don't waste my time. I won't waste yours. And it's got to feel like that to them, because you got to think, in my market, there's 2,000. In your guys' markets, it's worse. I'm in a little town. There's 2,000 agents. There's about 150 of us that make a living full time. So a good chance of you have worked with a part-time unexperienced person before is highly likable. And they might tell you, I don't trust you guys, or I don't like agents, or I had a bad experience. I don't try to justify it. I say, look, I apologize on behalf of the industry, and here's why. Your chances of getting a part-time agent or a newer agent is very high. However, that's not how we do business. And you have to be able to position yourself and add real value, but be serious with that, or they're not going to respect your time, because they're going to look at you like dumb. And that's how they're going to treat you.
Awesome.
What other questions we have?
There's nothing on the webinar, but I know, Addo, you had some predefined questions that you wanted to ask.
Yeah. I mean, Adam answered a lot of them right as the actual conversation went on. So this is amazing, Adam. You're clearly unbelievably experienced at this. This is so amazing. Yeah. I truly appreciate you doing this. I mean, I know a huge number of our clients were not actually able to even join onto the webinar because we sent the link a little bit too late. Is it okay that we send this across all of our networks and just pass this message along?
Yeah, if you could, agent locator, what do you guys do? Though I'm just doing this, I'm in business with Lauren, and he's like, hey, we do some training. I thought it was for our network and our team. And he's like, well, hey, by the way, and I'm like, cool, man, I love it. I do a lot of podcasts, and I'm a big contributor. So I'd love to learn, like, what do you guys do? I have no idea. He didn't.
No, absolutely. I appreciate it. Weird name, agent locator. I mean, we implant chips into agents so we can locate them because their clients can't find them anywhere. That's a joke when I tell people, but we
I like it.
It's the next service we're going to be into. We have a lead generation solution here in Canada. We're primarily mostly in Canada. We have some access to the US as well, but we're mostly a Canadian company so far, and we basically help agents generate leads and then convert those leads to the deals through our CRM system and websites.
Okay, I love it. Yeah, he just said you guys are big internet lead generation network company. I don't know, so cool. Hopefully you guys got some value. The only thing that I ask is, if you can, just get this to this first time Lauren's even heard some of the stuff. He's been in my network a couple months or whatever. Only wanted me to go around. Just shoot him the video so he can also drop it in our private group or whatever, 100%. So they can drop it to all those people in there. They probably appreciate it too today.
Yeah, everyone, if you want to come over to the Real Estate Agent Advantage Facebook group, it's no brands, no nothing. It's just open to all the real estate community. Our whole purpose is just to spread training, content, value, help people build their business. So if you want to come join the group,
We'll
And
link
yeah,
it
we'll put
because
it up there.
yeah, we're gonna do a mass email over to all of our clients. There's 16,000 people in that mass email, and I'd love to just make sure we have some proper links. So Adam mentioned a coaching group that you're part of. I'd love to link to that if possible. Lauren, to your group in Facebook as well. So we'll put together some links and pass it off to all these people, and that'll be amazing.
And
Yeah.
I'll put up the file that Adam was talking about.
Yeah.
I'll put that up in the file for the group there, the Facebook
Yeah,
group.
and if I can attach that file to the email, that'd be awesome. So thanks so much.
Yeah. If you could get that out and then just post it in Lauren's group. Lauren will post it back to our team group. The group I was mentioning, that's just for our modern team. I know Lauren would love to post it in his group too. So I appreciate you guys. If there's no other questions, I'm gonna get back to eating COVID for breakfast.
There's only one question, and I've got Jason Wood saying that you're such a fresh breath of air. He wants to know what state you're in.
I'm in Wichita, Kansas.
Kansas.
And yeah, I think I'm in like 25. I have 1,070 agents in 25 different markets. I don't know if you're up there around Lauren or in that Toronto area, pushing about 100 agents up there. I was going up there once a week for about 4 months till coronavirus hit. So I don't know what market you're in or whatever. So I'd love to be able to meet you. I don't know where you're at, but yeah, I'm in little Wichita, Kansas, right in the middle of the sticks out in Kansas. Population about 400,000, outskirts about 500,000. So little town, man. I don't know. I've been at this internet lead generation conversion strategy, so I just had to fail forward like a lot of you guys are. I've coached with damn near everyone in the industry, I believe in just giving back to the community. And you got to stay a student in the game. Things are changing. There's things that I didn't talk about that will help you guys' conversion number, like live chat. I don't know if you guys, have any live chat overlaying on your website. A lot of people don't, contact ratios with phones are going down, phone prospecting. And so being able to add value through like a live chat. And I took Gary Vee's approach through Jab, Jab, Punch, or I think that was his book or something like that. So in 2013, I started running live chat. And just to give you an example how big my database was before I sold my independent brokerage and moved over and did some of the changes. I just told you our population, we had an active database of 100,000 leads in there. And so over time, since 2012, 2013, we had live chat on there. And I taught our inside sales agents to not come across salesy and always answer their questions. They were licensed, so they could look up in MLS or relay information. And the formula that's worked really well with the live chat is most people don't know how to use live chat, right? Is give information. Those are the two jabs. And then if they ask the third question where they're needing information from us, that's where we jab and we take them from online to offline to a phone call to start a core process similar to what I given you guys. And you got to have the traffic coming to your site. You got to have the data management. But here's really where you start to build trust. Our first year with live chat, I really thought it was going to take off in 2012 or 13. Nobody had it on their website. I'm like, we're just going to kill this. But it really took a couple years for our live chat, even for us to trust it, to learn that there's not a bot behind it. There's not it's not automated. Our first one after you're on the website or you're on certain pages, it was very optimized to that. But when they responded back, it went straight to an ISA that could grab it out of queue, one of the 6 ISAs, and they could respond to it, right? And so we had to get crafty, kind of like Wendy's with their Twitter. Like they would be like, what are you wearing? Or is this Jake from State Farm? Or they'd say, I allowed our call center to get slick and creative with their responses, to be like, oh, whoa, no robot would say that or whatever. And then we started to build trust with our database. But then they started telling their neighbors and their friends, go to this website. You can actually speak with a licensed agent and they're not going to ask you for a bunch of stuff up front. And so when people started catching on to our live chat, I would probably say 1 out of 3 of our appointments that come from our call center started on live chat. So,
wow, cool. That's amazing.
Thanks so much for sharing, Adam. And Otto, thanks so much for hosting this for everybody and putting it out there. It's fantastic. Great teamwork, everyone.
This is amazing. Yeah. Adam, if you had one book to suggest to people to read, what would it be?
Well, I guess I had to ask you answer and ask, acknowledge and ask, right? Whoever's asking questions is going to take the power away. But I would read Fanatical Prospecting if you're wanting to figure out how to get up and going. Like, we're in a contact sport. And if you don't embrace the suck and become very good at prospecting 2 to 3 hours a day and building up that muscle in terms of habit, you're not going to make it. However, I gave you a very good structure of a call. If you have a hard time picking up the phone and calling somebody to say thank you for creating an account on our website, you're not going to make it in this industry, where this is not an order taking industry. So I always suggest to new agents, younger agents, or people that looking to start making calls is to become fanatical about it and create habits around it and time management. And that book will help you with that. If you're looking to build teams and build out brokerages or modern teams similar to what we've built, I'd probably go with, what am I reading right now? Actually, I got one other book I want to mention around that will help you with rejection, because fear is a hell of a thing. Where Fanatical Prospecting is going to help you get this dialed in. If you got rejection, rejection is all part of it. And so I download this one, Rejection Proof. All right. Rejection Proof. You can see it. Fanatical Prospecting and Rejection Proof. Then hold on, guys. I'm going to grab you a couple other books.
Appreciate that, man. I'll give one book while Adam is waiting. Many of you may not know the guy, David Premier. Premier. Sell the Way You Buy. He's not a very huge known writer, but out of Toronto, incredible. Actually ran the sales floor for Salesforce. So he was a sales manager for Salesforce for a number of years. Really, really, really good book, and amazing speaker as well. So Sell the Way You Buy by David Premier.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I mean, we've onboarded probably about 100 agents in the last 30 days to our team. Yeah. That's just crazy to me. And then somebody's like, dude, you got to be wore out, man, and exhausted. And I said, actually, I don't, because the way that I've built and the way I'm showing other people's how to build, they're making it duplicatable for yourself. So the way you build is how your people are going to build. The way you sell is how your agents are going to sell. Yeah. When I have, I'm 38. I tend to resonate with that 25 to 45 age bracket. And so a lot of young entrepreneurs, successful agents coming up through the ranks are always like, what should I read first or whatever? Or if they're just getting into lead gen, obviously Fanatical Prospecting, is one. I'm just going to give you a core 5 that I normally tell people to start out with. You guys heard me tell a lot of stories, or a handful of stories. Lauren gets to hear me story tell a lot. If you're going to build a brand, you're going to build it around stories. And you guys heard me mention that. Most people sell features and benefits. I don't sell any of that stuff. I sell stories. I think Lauren, when I did my first call with him before he became a partner with me, I didn't get into a lot of features and benefits and different things like that with him. I told him stories, what I'd done before, struggles I went through, real things I had to solve on my own to get to this level. And so stories sell, facts tell, right? Conversion Code by Chris Smith. I don't know if you guys know Chris. When I got into real estate, Chris was Influencer of the Year. And I followed Chris. I don't know what he's really doing nowadays with stuff, but there's an updated conversion code one that he just released. Chris is solid with, hey, tying in the marketing to the prospecting. He's worked in a lot of boiler rooms. What I mean by that, he's worked around billionaire call centers and stuff like that. I want you to be so good that they can't ignore you. A lot of people get into real estate because of, they think they're going to be passionate about it. HGTV, real estate is hard. There's no way around it. I know I was paid on 800 closings last month. And I know, like, I've done a lot of good stuff over 10 years, but 10 years, I made $300 a week, and I was struggling to pay my bills. I had worked day and night for three years straight before I took my first vacation, went to Mexico. I had to become so good that they couldn't ignore me. The industry couldn't ignore me. My community couldn't ignore me. And so you really have to take on with this book. What it helps you do is, instead of taking on a passion mindset, and I know I'm a very passionate, energetic guy, but you know, we all kind of get sold on different dreams, and follow your passion in real estate. It's all bullshit. You need to really become a good technician. You need to become a very good mechanic and build a business. And that's really how you're going to end up having a machine that serves you. I took off 6 months last year, and I wouldn't have been able to do it. And my group continued to grow. It wasn't all of last year. It was like the fourth quarter and the first quarter. And I'd never been able to do that. And then I'll end it with this one. You probably want to download this on Audible because he delivers it better on Audible than reading. I know there's some war stories in here or whatever. Wilco, he runs a podcast, just great leadership content. Here's what I'll tell you. There's no bad teams. There's only bad leaders. I've built an independent brokerage. I was 11th in the nation with my independent brokerage before I made some changes. But, you know, I've coached a lot of people, and they blame their agents. The agents aren't calling the leads, or this is what's going on, or people are blaming their personal life or their spouse or their financial situation. You need to be accountable and look in the mirror, and everything starts and stops with you. And extreme ownership is going to show you how to run your life and build a team. I read 2-3 books a month, but those are a good core to start out with, to mix in, you know, leadership, prospecting, a little bit of marketing with conversion code. And then this thing is not just going to get built off passion and good energy. Like you're really going to have to take on this craftsman mentality and build up enough core capital. And once you build up enough core capital, then you can flip it to the next thing in your career. I got a lot of young guys connected to me, good entrepreneurs, and they're like, man, you're young and you got a big business. And I'm like, you're going to have to build up core capital and cash it in and build on to the next thing. And you're going to have to get your hands dirty, because so many people want to delegate their push-ups. You can't, like, if you would have saw me a few years ago, I was overweight. I was stressed out running an independent brokerage. Like, I'm in shape now. I'm healthy. I'm great. But I couldn't delegate my mental health process, my push-ups, my time management with getting to the gym and all of that stuff. And so many people want to delegate to an ISA service, or somebody calling my leads in the Philippines or Nicaragua, or, you know, whatever. Like, you can't delegate the hard stuff in your business, or they try to delegate marketing or whatever. Like, get in there, figure it out. And this is what I've been really good at, is put it together and then turn it over to somebody. It don't mean that you have to do it forever, but if you're ever going to be able to get anything predictable, you're going to have to be able to build it so that you can inspect it and you can believe their bullshit that they're telling you, or understand that what they're dealing with and it's okay or not. Like, I've built my call center so my ISAs couldn't bullshit me. If we're having a bad month, I know it, and I could get into the problems with them and help them really solve it, versus just saying make more calls or get better or whatever, right? And so that's just a core belief that I have. And once you get it built, turn it over to somebody else and then move on to the next project. And most people get stuck just calling SOI or expired or FSBOs or internet leads, or just get stuck as a buyer agent, never learn how to become a listing agent or whatever, right? Or they just, I get to speak to a lot of smart broke agents that never built a business. They never move on to building a business. And so get your hands dirty and then turn over that little mechanism in your business that you built to somebody that can run it, and go put it on another little bolt or mechanism, connect them together. And then boom, you're going to wake up one day and be closing 800 homes a month, whether you're on a boat or doing whatever, if you end up developing good people around you. I got to go, guys. I appreciate your time. I can stay here and talk crap all day. I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Adam.
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate that.
Yep. Later, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Lauren. Really appreciate the chance here and having Adam on. I really appreciate everybody here. Thanks so much, and we'll chat later. All right. Bye, guys.
Sounds good. Bye.